guys, it's Star the Flippin' Hippo. Thank you for joining us on our YouTube channel at Flippin' Hippos, and welcome to episode 9 of Back to Basics. As you can tell by the title, we're going to talk about the ABCs of listing. Before we jump into this, I'm going to quickly just kind of go through from beginning to end of listing an item on eBay and go kind of fast through all the steps. Most of the stuff I'm going to talk about, you've probably heard me talk about before, and if you haven't, I do have videos out there that go into a lot more depth about some of these topics that can help you. So feel free to search the channel at your leisure and look for those videos if you need. Some of the stuff I'm going to touch upon today, I'm just going to quickly go through, like I said, so I can fit in everything about listing. And then if you want more information, more details about specific topics, you can search the channel for that. If you don't find it, comment down below and let me know. I'll either point you in the right direction or create the video for you or answer your question, whatever the case may be. As always, I want Back to Basics to be an interactive series. So if you have questions, comments, requests, throw them down in the comments, you guys. I do appreciate all the feedback. So let's just jump right in. The first thing you're going to do before you list is take pictures and take good pictures. Then you want to figure out how you're going to list. Some people list on the desktop or laptop, the computer. Some people list on the phone, and some people do a combination of both where they'll create the drafts on their computer and then open the drafts on the phone and upload their photos that way. They'll take the pictures with their phone and then upload them into the drafts they've already created and then put the listings live. Some people go into the phone and create the entire listing there and upload the photos and make them live. Personally, I like to do everything on the computer. I'm really fast on the computer. I don't like using the app. I don't like listing from my phone. So I'm just going to give you a couple of quick tips if you want to do it completely on your laptop. I have heard of people who take their pictures with their phone and then they'll put them in the cloud, or they will Facebook themselves their photos. I think that's extra steps and a definite waste of time, you guys. There's a much faster way. Most smartphones can plug right into your computer with a USB cord, and you can drag the pictures onto your computer. If you don't know how to do that, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to walk you through it, or even do a screen share one day on how it's done. But if you know how to get into to plug your computer in with the USB cord and get into the back end to your photos through your computer, you can move a whole bunch at once. I recommend creating a folder on your desktop. Title the folder the name of your eBay store or photos for listing, something for you to know that that folder is only for photos for your listings. And if you don't know about the shift-click trick, it's amazing. You can, say you have 500 photos in your phone, you can click the first one with your mouse, go all the way down to the bottom, press shift on your keyboard and click your mouse again. It highlights all 500 and you can drag all 500 into that folder on your desktop at one time. It takes a couple minutes. Excuse me. It takes a couple minutes. But you'll get a box that comes up and lets you know like how much time there is for all the pictures to move. Then when you go into eBay to list, you can move your photos the same way. So when you click add photos on your eBay listing in the back end when you're creating the listing, you can shift click all the photos of that one item, whether you have 8 or 12 or whatever, and they'll all upload at one time. I do absolutely recommend using templates. If you guys are listing on your computers or creating your drafts on your computers to upload your photos to from your phone later, you gotta be using templates. They are an amazing time saver. They take a little bit of time in the front end, in the beginning, to set up, but they are absolutely 100% worth it. Even if you take an hour to create a whole bunch of templates, they are worth it in the long run. They save you so much time. I do have a video on it if you need to look up on the channel, search for the template video to see how to do it. It's like a 5-minute video where I screen share and show you how. Templates are amazing because you can fill in so much stuff ahead of time that saves you time in the long run. You can have everything in your title except for like item specifics like size. If you're doing jeans, you would have to put boot cut or flare, obviously. But you can have most of your title already filled out. You can have a lot of the item specifics already filled out. Your description box, all you're adding is measurements and what the item is. It is just an amazing time saver, and you can create as many as you want. I have them up for every type of item I list. I have a template. So I have women's jeans, men's jeans, women's shirts, women's dresses, coffee mugs, plush, you name it. I've got a template, because when I'm listing that type of item, I'm saving myself so much time. I'm just filling out a few things in the back end and I'm done. I can make it live. I've got to put the photos in, of course. So definitely be using templates. And on the Android, I can't speak for the iPhone app because we have Androids. I know that they recently did update the Android eBay app, and when you're listing, you can now select a store category for your item, and the SKU line is now available. That wasn't before, but Keith did tell me that now you can do that, which is good. That's a good update. Store categories, obviously, you want your stuff in your store categories for ease of shopping for your buyers. And the SKU line is an amazing tool for us as sellers. It's the line right under the title. It's SKU in all caps. The buyer never ever sees what you put in that line. So you can put the item location, and I hope you have a good inventory system. If you don't, we'll be doing a video on that in this series soon. But you could put your item location, the original day you listed it or month, the original price you wanted for it, any kind of information that you might want to go back and get for that item, but you don't want your buyer to necessarily see, just for you. It is an amazing place to keep track of that on each and every item. I definitely recommend using the SKU line. And if you are on Android and you do list on your phone, you can now do that on your phone. So you want to double check for typos. So the thing is with typos, it can really hurt your listing. I know that on a what sold video recently, I showed you guys where I had some cut from the cloth jeans. I had a huge typo in the title, and it probably hurt me, and it's probably why they took so long to sell and went for what they did. So just, you know, upload your photos, upload your photos, fill out all your information, and then before you make it live, just kind of run your eyes over the title real quick and run down and just make sure that you guys don't have any typos or errors. We're all human and we all do it. We all make mistakes. Once in a while, even Keith and I will just like run down the active listings in our store and just kind of eyeball them and make sure there's no typos or anything like that, because that really, really can hurt you. If you have something misspelled or a weird character in there or typo, buyers looking for your item aren't going to find it because it's not going to show in the searches. Make sure you're comping your items really well. So don't just look at active listings. Make sure you're looking at solds. Anybody can list anything for any kind of money, any amount. You want to make sure that you are looking at what items are actually selling for. So just make sure you're looking at the solds and seeing, you know, recent sales and how much that item sold for. Additionally, I want to add, and I know I've talked about this before, don't spend too much time comping. I have heard of a lot of people who try to find their exact item when they're comping their prices, and that can lead you down a rabbit hole and be a huge waste of time. An example would be if you had a men's button front Hawaiian shirt. You don't need to find that exact Hawaiian button front shirt and the exact print that you have in the same exact size that you have. You really don't. Look for that brand. Look for Hawaiian shirts in that brand, button-up Hawaiian shirts. Go to the solds and kind of eyeball through. Always, when you look through the solds, you're going to see that some people list high, some people list low. So you can choose to go in the middle, or list higher if yours is a bigger size, or you know your graphics are a little bit more cool, I guess is the word I'm looking for. If you have really neat graphics or really bright loud colors or a really big size, you can kind of go on the higher end of the comps, whereas if you had a small or really plain, you'd want to go on the lower end, and for everything else just kind of go in the middle. Make sure your titles are good, make sure you're using keywords, make sure you're using the formula that you should be using for your titles, just so that you show up better in search results. The item specifics, fill out as many of those as you can. That will definitely help you. Two ways. Number one, allegedly filling out a lot of the item specifics will help your item go higher in the algorithm. But number two, it'll help your buyer with more information about the item they're about to purchase. Offer 2 types of shipping. Now, this has never been proven. This has never been, like, you know, announced by eBay as truth. But there are a lot of resellers who really believe offering 2 types of shipping gets you a higher result in the search engine. So, for instance, if you offer free shipping on your first class items, you would just make sure you put the weight in for the item in the listing and offer a secondary option of priority. Now, most buyers are never going to pick your secondary option. They're always going to pick the first one, especially if the first one is free and the second one is paid. But around Christmas time, we actually had a couple people choose that secondary option because they wanted to get the expedited shipping. They wanted the item priority rather than first class, just to ensure it got there in time for the holidays. So there will be times that people choose your secondary option. If your item isn't first class and it's already priority, you could offer something like FedEx Ground or priority overnight. What is it, Express? Yeah, the express shipping. But it is just really recommended that you offer some option, some second option of shipping on your listing, because it will push your item up in the algorithm, allegedly. I've always done it. I know a lot of resellers that do it, so it takes like 2 seconds to offer a secondary option, and if it helps you get sales or helps you show up in the searches, why not? Again, most buyers aren't going to choose that option, but it's there if they want to. And then if you don't want to mess around with the whole international shipping and all of that, you guys, at the very least, be offering international buyers global shipping program through your listings. If you opt into the global shipping program, you are responsible to ship the item to Kentucky, to eBay's center there, and then your responsibility is over with. It's done. You ship it to Kentucky, they take over from there and handle all the customs and all of that for you. If the item breaks in shipping or anything like that, eBay takes care of it. You're only responsible to get it to Kentucky and you're done. The downside to global shipping program is it costs a lot more for your international buyers to use that program than to buy directly from you and you ship it internationally. So you kind of have to decide which one you want to do, but definitely offer one. At the very least, do the global shipping or do international if that's something you want to do. It gets you so many more eyes on your listings, guys. Just offering that international option to buyers overseas will increase your sales 1 or 2 a week. It's not, you know, a ton of money, but it's extra sales, it's extra money, it's sales you didn't have before. And if you sell a lot of items like Disney, Hershey Park, Hard Rock Cafe, Looney Tunes, Coca-Cola Classic memorabilia, a lot of that stuff does sell overseas. At least we have noticed that. A lot of those types of items do sell to our international buyers, and I think it's just because they like the Americana items. Let me just look at my list real quick and make sure I point out everything I wanted to point out to you guys. Great pictures. Make sure if you're listing on the computer, you're using templates. Make sure you're moving your photos over to your computer in one fell swoop with your USB cord. Make sure you're using that SKU line to put any information that you want to see for yourself. Buyers never see it. Double check yourself for typos or misspellings or anything like that. Use great titles with keywords. Make sure you're following that formula for the title. Fill out as many item specifics as you can. Comp your items well. Look at the solds, but don't be so particular you're looking for the exact item and wasting time. Offer 2 types of shipping to get your items higher in the search algorithm, and then offer at the very least global shipping if you don't want to do international, just to get those extra sales. Make sure you're listing every day. Make sure your store is active. An active store is a happy store, and Cassini likes the active stores and will push those up further in the algorithms. And the only other thing that I would add to increase your speed is to be listing all the same types of items together. So you don't want to be doing like 2 pairs of jeans, 2 blouses, 1 men's shirt, a coffee mug, and 2 plush. That will definitely slow you down. If you do a whole stack of jeans at once or a whole stack of shirts at once, it increases your time exponentially when you're measuring, when you're photographing, and then again when you're listing. If you are someone who sells, you know, very low volume and doesn't source a lot, let's say you go out sourcing once a week and you come home with only 3 pairs of jeans, 1 plush, 2 shirts, a hat, and a purse. Someone like that probably would want to list all of those things at once because that's all you got. So if you do really low volume, if this is a hobby for you, if you don't source a lot, you can take the very few items that you get each week and do a photo session with all of them. But if you're dealing in any kind of volume, death piles, or you source a lot, you guys, you should definitely be doing all alike items together to increase your speed. If you are dealing in a lot of volume and you have big death piles and you bring home lots of stuff, you can absolutely save them up until you have enough. You can see behind me on that chair are jeans. I save them up until I have about 20 to 30 pair, and then I'll spend a day measuring and photographing, and then I can list them. We have another rolly chair over there that way that we save up key shirts on, but you guys can kind of do the same thing if you have room in your eBay room. If not, maybe you have room in your storage room, but just, you know, like pile all the alike stuff together and then try to do 1 stack of jeans, 1 stack of men's shirts. Have a day where you work on plush, or a day where you work on mugs or purses or hats or whatever. It will just really, really increase your speed if you're doing all alike items together. As far as measurements, photo sessions, and listing. That is the last tip I have for you guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below if you have any more questions. If you have a request or something you want to see in the Back to Basics videos, let me know. Smash that like button before you guys leave. That always helps our channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and help us feed a hungry hippo. Don't forget to hit the bell so you're notified when I put up new content. And you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We are at Flippin Hippos across all social media. You guys have a great night. Until next time, I'll see you then.